Bulldog fans, welcome to a playoff edition of the Terry Sanford Coach Report. I'm your host, Coach Jeff Morehead, and with me as always, Coach Mack. We are here after a first-round playoff win last week, 49-20 over E.E. Smith. Coach, we all know as a coach and players, we've heard the guys talk about it, kind of a slow start to the game from our point of view, but I will give Smith credit. You could tell in warm-ups they were fired up to play last Friday night, Coach.
I give all the credit to Smith. They really came out 3-7, but a very tough schedule, nothing to lose. Playing for the young men, that from previously in the year. Having nothing but respect for Coach DeVale Williams. He's done a great job with E. Smith. They should really should be the coach of the year in that conference just for everything that he's been through. We talked about it in our conference. Just have a ton of respect for him and respect for those young men that are right across Bragg Boulevard.
Coach, a slow start, but at this point in the year, you want to keep playing. You want to win. At halftime, up 21-14. What's the message to the guys at halftime?
Well, really kind of weather the storm. Just kind of really tell them, hey, look, this is what's going on. Smith's got nothing to lose. They're going to throw the cold kitchen sink at you. I think they even tried that pass, double pass. We knew that we're going to throw everything at us. I was more worried about our mannerisms. You know what I mean? I knew it was going to be tough at first. It's a rival. We played the last 70 years. We know each other. They grew up together. There's just an advantage in not having anything to lose. Mine was more mannerisms, the way we attack, the way we play to our standard.
A much better second half, a 28-point third quarter, to take a commanding lead, ultimately winning 49-20. Game ended a few minutes short due to an injury from the Smith player. And Coach, talking to Coach Jeff McPhail, who works in medical and all that, we did get a good report that it's not as a severe injury as we thought it was on Friday night. So we're hoping for a full recovery. Because number 2 from Smith, that kid's a baller, has an offer from NC State, and just hoping that he has a good and healthy offseason, can be back on the field next year. Touchdowns Friday night, Jacob Moore, Gavin Kraut, 2 touchdowns. One was a kickoff return. Sebastian O'Keefe, 2 touchdowns. Zay Williams, Zay Washington, a touchdown. That kickoff return, Coach, a defensive special teams play just really gets the team going. Yeah,
Gavin has a knack for that. He kind of felt that we needed something, a big play, and wanted the football right there. I think he called it immediately when the ball was kicked. I kind of laughed a little bit because I knew he wanted the ball. And, great blocking by our special teams have been our special teams return team has really blocked well and played hard all year. Some key blocks, and he busts through, breaks a couple of tackles, and goes to do. It was huge. That in the second half kickoff where we squibbed it and got, kind of a squib onside kick, getting the possession and scoring, I think were huge points in the ball game.
To be able to steal that position right out of halftime with the onside kick and score and make it a 2-score game. Defensively, a solid night with takeaways, 2 interceptions, Jordan Brown and Zay Williams, a fumble recovery by Prince White. And one stat that stood out to me, Coach, E.E. Smith was 0 for 11 on 3rd and 4th down. Wow. So, defense with some takeaways and turnover on down. Just a solid night, it seems like, from the defense, Coach.
I feel like you guys made a tremendous adjustment at halftime. It just the quarterback, the pressure on the quarterback, taking him out of the run game, I felt like it flipped everything, right after we scored there, put tremendous pressure on the rest of the guys on the offense, which is what we were trying to do. So a ton of credit goes to you guys, the players on the defense executing that. 0 for 11 on 3rd and 4th down. I will take that every time. I don't care if you're playing, as Yeager says, the School of St. Mary's. But 0 for 11 is tremendous. The fumble recovery, I love to see those names on the stat sheet. When you see those multiple names, it means multiple people were involved. So very impressed with that.
Coach, we might be frustrated as coaches with an ugly win during the regular season, but an ugly win in the playoffs means you're still playing with survive and advance. Coach Jimmy V had that great saying all those years ago, but you move on to week 2. Versus Scotland County, a team that had to buy, and we'll talk about Scotland towards the end of the show.
Yep.
All right, after the break, we're going to have our 2 players of the week. Senior running back Zay Washington, 14 carries for 123 yards, and junior offensive lineman, our center, James Parker. They are our players of the week, and we will talk to them after the break.
Go Dogs.
Welcome back to the Terry Sanford Coaches Report. Coach Mack, our first player of the week.
Our first player of the week is our senior running back, Isiah Washington. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate Isiah, welcome back to the show. Had you on earlier in the season. Just some thoughts on the season that you've had.
So far, I'm pretty content with my season so far. Very satisfied with my work and my effort.
Coach, Isiah had a great year for us. 1,000 yards rushing is kind of a magic number for running backs. Just some thoughts on Isiah's play this year.
It really is. The offenses, especially in high school football, North Carolina, have really gone to passing a lot. But I said it in the earlier show with Isiah on here, but he is the stud that we need. He's that bang that we need in our offense. He just provides so many times that tough run. 71st game a couple of weeks ago when he ran the guy over at linebacker and just got everybody pumped up. Isiah Washington is that throwback player that you need in today's game. And he doesn't need a lot of pats on the back, man. He just runs the football, plays hard, and is a team player.
You know, so much football is east and west now. Isiah is a true downhill running back.
Well said.
Not afraid of contact. I think he really likes running over people. And there's been many of those runs this year. Isiah, we talked about earlier in the year the touchdown run against 71st. What other runs sort of stick out in your mind as the season went on?
It's got to be the run against Lumberton on the toss left.
Was that right out of halftime?
Yeah.
That sort of got the team going out of halftime. You know, Coach, I think whenever Isiah gets the ball, we expect big things to happen.
It really does. And you talk about getting the team going. I know he got his head coach going because I jumped. I think they slid a piece of paper underneath my feet. But Isiah excites me just because I've seen the work that he's put in as a freshman to his senior year. He's unselfish. He's everything that you want in a program, young man, because I'm not going to say kid. Hardest worker in the weight room. Every teacher loves him. I can't say enough about Isiah. We're talking about, before he came on the show, just talking about how easy it is to talk about somebody like that. But when he lowers the boom, man, he gets everybody excited. I love it.
And from my vantage point up top, I can see these things about to happen before they really happen. And so I know I've said that was a great hit. That was a big run by Zay. All right. Playoff game at home last week. What sort of thing did the team learn from that first-round playoff game versus E.E. Smith?
We learned that we had to play to our standard. Those first two quarters, those was not our standard, and we just need to lock in.
Yep, and you can learn something from every game, and it's easier to learn in a win. You know, at this point, a loss ends your season and so on. But I'd rather have an ugly win than you really played hard but lost kind of game. All right,
so true. This
is the second game versus Scotland. You had over 100 yards versus Scotland the first time we played them. Maybe they know quarterback and receivers, but how does it make you feel knowing now that Scotland knows what you're capable of doing?
It really doesn't change. It really doesn't change how I feel. I'll just go down there and do the same thing again.
I like to hear that. What about you, Coach?
It just that's typical Zay. He's not interested in what everybody else is thinking. Confident in his ability, because when you put in the work that this young man's put in on the field and off the field, you're going to have that confidence. And I have a ton of confidence in him. If it's a big play, I won't say Washington have the ball.
All right, it's Wednesday. We've had a couple days of practice. Just some of your thoughts on how practice has gone this week.
We had some mistakes, little mistakes that we need to clean up. And after we clean those up, then we'll be okay.
And I think coaches talk about this. At this time of the year, you're just trying to clean things up, like Zay said. You're not really installing a ton of new stuff. You're just trying to fine-tune at this point in the season, Coach.
It's a great point. You got the same playbook, except for a handful of plays. But, it attacks differently. Just like, Zay we changed something the other day, and you see him lock in on Coach Van or the line coach or Coach Holy, and you just see him locking in on what his assignment is. So you're just trying to fine-tune that stuff. Somebody might play a different defense. We're trying to prepare for different things that might happen on Friday night. And, it's so easy to adjust with Zay because he's going to be the first one in the film room. He's going to be the first one to know his assignment, and he's going to be the first one that wants the ball on Friday night in a big situation.
Real quick, Zay, we beat Scotland Friday if we do what?
Execute.
There you go.
Perfection.
And lack of execution, could be harmful to a team at this point in the year. Looking forward to Isiah having a big night at Scotland on Friday night. We're back with our second player of the week after these messages.
Go Dogs.
Welcome back to the Terry Sanford Coaches Report. Coach Mack, our second player of the week.
Glad to. Second player of the week is our offensive lineman center, junior James Parker. Welcome to the show, James.
Thank you.
All right, James, a real important question first. You told us about a Waffle House after-game meal for the O-line. Did you guys go to Waffle House last Friday night?
No, we didn't. Too late of a game, but my usual meal is the All-Star meal with a chocolate chip waffle and hash browns.
Good.
There you go. Hopefully you guys get to enjoy Waffle House Friday or at some point this weekend after a win over Scotland County. All right.
Y'all.
The offense has over 4,500 yards on the season. Wow. True run game, pass game, dual threat, and all that. How much pride do you guys, your O-line teammates, take in all the numbers that go up from our offense?
We take a lot of pride in it. We work so hard to do it, but it's not our best.
Coach, when you hear a player say it's not our best and the points are being put up on the board, how does that make you feel?
We're always searching for that perfect game. Had a speech from some of our veteran coaches yesterday that I'm sure we'll talk about. But we're searching for perfection, so we never want to be satisfied. And if that goal keeps moving, it's higher and higher, just feel like we can continue to get better and continue to push the envelope.
The offensive line is all juniors, and some of the guys played in the playoffs last year, some did not. What do you think, you guys that maybe didn't play in the playoffs last year, what did y'all learn from our first playoff game last Friday night?
We got to play hard and execute, or it's going to be hard.
And each week the teams get tougher, and so you got to be locked in from the start, Coach.
Yeah, you raised the ante. E. Smith was playing with a lot to play for, so to speak. Scotland's a veteran ball club, veteran coaching staff. So each week is supposed to get harder, and it does this week. So we've got to lock in, eliminate some of those mistakes like we've been trying to get done the last couple of days. And really proud of that junior offensive line that's really stepped up, and you see them locked in just like yesterday in practice. A few things, they quickly changed it.
We played Scotland about a month ago, James. What do you remember from that first Scotland game?
We didn't come out the way we should have. We should have came out a lot harder, a lot faster.
Coach, when you hear players say that, and that's a lot of the things that coaches talk about maybe after the game or in our meetings on Sunday, but when a player says the same thing.
Yeah, we really haven't gotten to that yet. I just, had a few conversations with them about how we kind of were in a filling out process with Scotland, and that's over with. The past is the past, but you got to learn from the past. Felt like we learned a valuable lesson, been ahead in every game this year, all 10 games. And in order to finish all 10 of those games and finish Friday night, we're going to have to eliminate those small mistakes and be the team that wants to make the play, not that's waiting on the play to happen.
All right, had a couple practices so far this week, James. Just talk about how practice has been this week.
For me, it hasn't been my best, but always fix it, but get better.
You want to get better each practice, Coach, and it's why you practice, to work on things and hopefully they happen in practice and not on Friday night.
Yeah, and, he's just looking for that perfect practice, that perfect game, and, we encourage that. But James has played extremely well. It's a big part of why we've been so successful this year by moving him to center, him being able to pull just the different things that he can do with his size and a combination of athletic ability. So, he's going to be tough on himself because he wants to play that perfect game. He loves football. Love him just like Zay's a team player. And so he's still searching, and we'll clean it up, and we'll be ready Friday.
Just want to ask you a question about one of your new teammates on the offensive line. We have a new right tackle who's really stepped up against some of these better teams at the end of our schedule. Just how much, just talk about Josh a little bit and how hard he's worked the last few weeks.
Yeah, Josh is a dog, man. He has great size and pretty strong, but he's got to get a little bit faster on the pulls, but we can work on that.
And it says a lot about the confidence in Josh to kind of throw him out there,
Really does.
when the game's got bigger, Coach.
Yeah, I think we just saw something in Josh that we could raise the level of the line play with his size and athletic ability, the combination of it. Really proud of these guys. They've really taken him under his wing. We can't, in a high school week, we can't get in everything that we need to get in to bring him to this level this quickly. And James, Jameer, Kyle, all those guys on the offensive line have really taken him under his wing and really brought him up to another level to where when we're practicing, he's getting better very quickly.
All right, James, real quick. We beat Scotland Friday night if we do what?
Play at our standard and execute.
The Bulldog standard, got a hoodie that says that, Coach.
Yes,
I
sir.
love when players say that over and over each week. We're back after these
The standard.
messages.
Go Dogs.
Back from our final timeout, Coach. This is our 6th meeting versus Scotland since 2022. Scotland had a first-round bye. We know that some of their coaches were at the game on Friday night watching us and maybe taking some notes on some things we did on Friday night.
Take 'em
Scotland
all.
7-3 on the season. Coach, all the games have been exciting for fans. All the games have been close. What's not to expect something very similar on Friday night?
That's a great point. We're so evenly matched. I feel like, their coaching staff, our coaching staffs do a tremendous job at taking advantage of things you see on film. A little extra film study this time to try to find one or two little more extra things that maybe could flip the tide. But when you play in the second round against a team like Scotland, they're playing a team like us, it's probably going to be another close game. It just is what it is. We've got to be comfortable in those situations like we have been for so many years and get our guys like Jacob and Gavin and those guys, Zay Wash, get them the ball in critical situations and let them win the game and not worry about the Scotland, but worry about playing to our standard.
Going back to our first game, we led that game third quarter, fourth quarter. After being down early, the guys really showed a lot of character and resilience coming back to take the lead. Ultimately, we kicked off and they ran it back for a touchdown, big momentum, swinger right there.
Yes.
We can all learn some things from that first game. I know we've watched the film. Scotland is a little bit different offensively with their senior running back breaking his ankle in the Lumberton game after they played us. So it's going to be a freshman running back who's got some Division I offers, one of those Scotland running backs you just sort of plug in and let it go. But, I think if we looked at that first game, all three phases, offense, defense, especially, all would like to have a couple plays back from that first game, Coach.
Well said. And a game like this usually comes down to a couple of plays. I feel like, it was the week of the Smith deal, where our guys and rightfully so were paying homage to those guys, and it was a tough week. And so some of the things during the week, I don't really, you can't really pull on because you're so much concentrating on your kids, on the young men on your team that, are your family members and trying to make sure they're okay. I do know the way we started the football game will not happen Friday night. We will come out ready to play. It was kind of an eerie practice session before warm-up session, and just kind of filling each other out, making sure everybody's okay. And Friday night, win, lose, or draw, we'll be ready to go. When the whistle and that first kickoff, we'll be ready to go.
And I do think us playing last Friday is huge. You get
I'll
that
take
first playoff game. I don't want to say out of the way, but that you get a playoff game
Agree.
experience. Scotland has sat around for a couple weeks after a very tough loss at home to Cape Fear.
Yep.
And so who knows the mindset of those players, sitting around, having to go through practice, playoff
Great
practice.
point.
They've got a lot of underclassmen as well.
Yep.
And so I do think we do have an advantage having played last week, Coach.
I think that's probably one of the biggest statements of the week. I like playing. I would rather play last week. and the adversity we faced. I really feel like the first half is really going to help us. The adversity kind of getting hit in the mouth a little bit, playing against a playoff atmosphere with nobody, they had nothing to lose. Really feel like when we see that right off the first kickoff with Scotland, we'll be more prepared for it. And I'm not talking about our seniors. They're battle tested, but people don't understand. It's not about your top 10 players. It's about your 22, your 33 that are going to play on Friday night. Everybody has to be ready to go. One mistake by one person in one area can cost you a touchdown or a big play. So I really feel like our young sophomores that we play so many of will be ready and in that atmosphere respond very well.
And those plays don't always happen at the end of the game. It could be something that happened in the first quarter, a turnover, maybe a turnover you don't get, a dropped interception thrown to you. There's things that happen all throughout the game that affect field position, that affect maybe scoring possibilities, scoring chances. And so every play is critical Friday, Coach.
And that's another great statement. You sure? You've been coaching football a long time, haven't you? People don't understand. They see the play at the end of the game, and they're like, oh, man, this and that. But there's so many plays in the first and second quarter that lead up to that, or you having to do something else that caused that play. So we've got to be ready from the opening kickoff. That's on me. That's my job to get us ready. You guys do a great job of game plan and getting the guys ready. My job is to have us ready for the opening kickoff, and I promise you we'll be ready.
7 o'clock Friday night. Make that 45-minute drive down to Laurinburg. It's the place we were at a month ago. It's going to be an awesome environment. Playoff football, second round, 7 o'clock kickoff. See y'all Friday night. Go Dogs.
Can't wait. Go Dogs.